Gravity and thermodynamics dictate the maximum size of a land mammal. If an elephant grew to the mass of a blue whale, its legs would buckle under its own weight, and its core temperature would rise to lethal levels, essentially cooking the animal from within. The Naga titan, a recently discovered sauropod from Thailand, functioned outside these mammalian constraints. At 27 tons, it carried the weight of 9 adult elephants, maintaining a stable biological system at a scale that physics should theoretically prohibit for a terrestrial herbivore. Understanding how these animals moved and breathed was difficult for early researchers because of the nature of the fossil record. Most dinosaur remains are the result of mineral replacement, where the original organic tissue is entirely swapped for stone over millions of years. Because science spent a century focused on the mineralogy of these petrified remains, dinosaurs were primarily studied as geological artifacts rather than active biological systems. That perspective changed with a 66-million-year-old Edmontosaurus fossil found in the Hell Creek Formation. This mass spectrometry report identifies the presence of original organic molecules preserved within the bone. Researchers detected specific fragments of collagen and hydroxyproline, proving that traces of the animal's actual protein structure survived the fossilization process. This surviving molecular data allows us to reverse engineer the dinosaur body plan, the Bao plan, as a functioning piece of biological engineering. The first engineering challenge of gigantism is weight. A solid skeleton scaled to 50 tons would be too heavy for any muscle group to move efficiently. Dinosaurs solved this through skeletal pneumatization. Their bones evolved into a series of hollowed-out structs and intricate air sacs, significantly reducing the mass of the skeleton without sacrificing structural integrity. These internal air sacs served a dual purpose, functioning as a sophisticated radiator system. By moving air deep into the core of the skeleton, they could vent the massive internal heat generated by their colossal body mass. This pneumatic chassis provided the lightweight, heat-dispersing frame necessary for an animal to exceed the size limit seen in modern mammals. Massive bodies require a massive caloric intake, but for most herbivores, the mechanical process of chewing creates a bottleneck. There are only so many hours in a day to grind down plant matter. Sauropods removed this bottleneck by abandoning chewing entirely. They evolved to crop vegetation and swallow it whole, moving food into the gut immediately. Eliminating heavy jaw muscles and teeth reduced the weight of the head, allowing for an exceptionally long neck. This neck functions as a crane sweeping across a massive radius. This feeding envelope let the animal harvest fast resources, while its heavy torso remained stationary. To compensate for the lack of chewing, the food was processed in a massive fermentation gut. High retention times allowed microbes to break down raw plant matter that would be indigestible to other herbivores. By separating the gathering of food from the energy-intensive act of moving their weight, sauropods maximized their energy profit. The dinosaur body plan was modular, meaning the same baseline architecture could be modified for radically different environments. Spinosaurus represents one of the most extreme variations of this chassis. Paleontologists have spent years debating whether this predator hunted along the shoreline or pursued prey deep underwater. Evidence for an aquatic lifestyle is found in its bone density. Unlike the hollow bones of their sauropod relatives, Spinosaurus evolved compact, heavy bone tissue that functioned as internal ballast, allowing it to submerge like a modern manatee. This structural flexibility allowed dinosaurs to conquer nearly every ecological niche on the planet, from the deep water to the open plains.